Hey, the internet, dudes in space coming at you today, and we're going to be talking about some pranks. Have you guys ever been pranked?
Yes.
A couple times.
I have not.
I love to scare people. That's a prank, right?
Yeah, I have been pranked.
There you go.
Yeah.
But speaking of pranks, we just put out a video 2 days ago where we did some extreme pranks, and we'd appreciate it if you guys checked it out. I'll put a link right here to make that easier.
Maybe it's right here.
Sure, that works.
It's in a box right here.
It's in a sweet floaty box.
So today, like Travis said, we're going to talk about some of the craziest, biggest, most awesome pranks that I personally had never heard of.
I had not heard of any of these before we
hadn't.
The first prank we have involves a lady pulling up in a limousine to a Burlington coat factory in Columbus, Ohio. She gets out, she says, "All right, everybody, just get everything you want to get, and I'll pay for all of your clothes."
Now, I know if I was a shopper, I would just skip to rioting. Like, inevitably, that's what would probably happen.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. So what people did was 500 people crammed into the store, and there was a line out front to get in. They had to call the cops. They say a dozen police officers were called to keep the crowds in check.
A dozen cops to 500 people. That's a pretty good ratio.
So, anyways, aside from this lady being very, very generous, she didn't really have any money.
Totally full of crap.
After an hour, she got in her limo and she pulled off. And then they went to rioting, like Travis suggested would happen.
You could safely assume that riot inevitably happens when anything...
People are upset in a large group. It's going to be a riot.
They're lucky that they didn't riot first.
So apparently this woman, no charges were brought against her for the actual act of the prank. Yeah. But what she didn't do is pay for the limo, and that's what got her in a little trouble.
My bad, I forgot to pay my limo
Did
driver.
end up going to jail. She had a couple warrants out, and it didn't turn out good for her.
It seems like she went with a cuckoo cachoo plea. Oh yeah, I totally told all those people that I was going to buy them, but I'm a nutso, so...
I mean, would you have pled any other way but insanity to that?
I wanted to start a riot.
All right, we've got another prank here. We're ramping up a little bit. That started out kind of low. Still pretty cool. It's pretty cool prank.
Pretty high bar to be low.
All right, so we have a man named William Edgar Smith, Georgia Tech student from 1927.
It's too old to be me.
No, yeah, definitely not. So what William Edgar Smith did, old Billy Smith.
Billy Smith.
He had a lot of extra time on his hands because they didn't have cool things like internet and video games and fun things.
And the YouTube?
No YouTube.
They didn't have YouTube?
Imagine a world without YouTube. A world without YouTube. So instead of doing fun things like that or playing Parcheesi or whatever they did then, he got an extra admission form from college. He filled that sucker out. He enrolled George P. Burdell, and he decided he was going to do all his work for him.
That's really nice of him.
He did double coursework all the way through college.
I don't know.
Barely did my own coursework.
So it was 1927?
1927.
There wasn't enough information in the world at that time for there to be a whole lot of stuff to study about. So it probably is pretty easy. Today in college we learned words, and that's it.
So he filled out twice the paperwork necessary to graduate college. He would change the handwriting, he would change the wording and stuff. And, no one caught on.
I wonder if he, was competitive.
I'll show you, Georgie.
Yeah, oh, George he bested me on this test. I'll get him next time.
Well, George P. Burdell earned his bachelor's degree.
That's impressive.
It is very impressive.
That's twice my degree.
I have one of those.
That's infinitely more than my degree. But people heard about this prank. Pretty good prank. And they wanted to carry it a bit further. So, Georgia Tech students, after Billy Smith graduated, continued turning in work for George P. Burdell until he got his master's degree.
What's the degree in? Do we know?
I did not have that information here. That would have been...
If you guys can figure out what his master's was in, Throw it down there. I want to know, and I don't want to look for it.
So people kept this prank going. He was on a couple bombers in the military, a couple bomber planes. Mad Magazine claimed he sat on their board of directors.
That's pretty cool. That's impressive.
I mean, was he the pilot of the bomber plane?
I hope not. So I was very surprised about this third prank, and that I'd never heard of it.
I was very intrigued.
None of us had ever heard of this.
It blew up my mind.
Inflated, you might say.
In World War II, we had a German problem.
It was a bit of a problem back
We
then.
needed to win against the Germans.
We like our German brothers now. Hopefully this gets cut out.
So, we I guess we didn't have enough personnel to fight all the battles we needed to win. We needed a good idea. So, what do?
I don't know. Maybe we should just, make a blow-up army?
That's exactly what we did.
I wonder if that was George Purcell's idea.
Probably. He was a tank driver. It ended up being a 30,000-man armored battalion that was actually just a bunch of artists who had made a bunch of fake artillery. Fake. Not real. They actually won a couple battles. They got some surrenders. Pretty crazy stuff, considering that they were driving around blow-up tanks.
They weren't driving. I mean, yeah, they were Flintstonesing it with their...
They totally were. They just crawl under, pick it up, and Flintstone that tank around.
Bonnie, we've got to get out of here.
But I thought it was pretty crazy that actual armies surrendered to these guys.
I mean, the fact
with
that
their inflatable tanks.
a fake army can win a war. I mean, that's...
Yeah, it's ingenious. So it's estimated that the Ghost Army, as I believe it's been called...
Ghost Army.
Saved up to 30,000 Allied lives. 30,000 lives.
That's very impressive.
Yeah.
With some balloons.
That's very kind of them to do that.
So it must have been pretty humiliating whenever you surrendered and then you walked up to an inflatable tank and then the wind blew it over.
Did they just give them a tour? We surrender.
Oh, God, you got to check this out.
This is hilarious. I'm not going to believe this. Can I have your gun, please?
Pop. Thanks for watching. We're going to end this video now. We did enjoy bringing you the 3 most epic pranks of history time.
Ever.
And then some.
So
it won World War II.
We won World War II because of a prank. I will say that.
We the Allies.
Definitively. Yes, we're the Allies. Yeah. Suck it, Axis. So, if you liked the video, please like and subscribe. Share. Very important to share.
We do love that sharing stuff.
Probably the most important is to share with everyone you know so that they can see it also.
And then if you have anything to say or you'd like to share some more pranks with us, comment below.
Take it easy, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye.